Hello everybody, and today I'm going to talk about content and value of allocation of funds as part of financial planning and why this activity is very important for enterprises in our days. Our main objective is to understand the correlation between effective allocation of funds system and enterprise economy efficiency. After this lecture, you should realize that applying of financial planning on enterprises as necessary is air for people. Let's look on this scheme. Every day, enterprise pay some expenses. For example, salary, sources and materials, rent, taxes, credits, administrative expenses, and some other. If something won't be paid in time, the enterprise will receive a citation or any estate will be arrested, and eventually our enterprises will stop its activity. What we can do? So our first important question, how we can plan all enterprises payments for effective management. It's really a great problem for enterprises to save their paying capacity, especially in a long period of time, for 1 year or for 2 and more. So for this problem solving, there exists such type of activity as allocation of funds. And my topic today is the content and aim of such activity as allocation of funds for enterprises. So I'm going to divide my lecture on two main points. Let's begin with the definition of allocation of funds and main tool of its budget. And then I would like to describe the aims of this activity for enterprises. Okay. And first of all, definition, allocation of funds, and budget. Let's describe it. Allocation of funds, it is a process of planning. It's a key. Planning what? We plan our finance. Because there are too many directions of enterprises expense, and for every direction we create individual plan, or it's called budget. For example, budget of salary, which shows us how much salary we will pay in a future period, months, half of a year, and etc. Budget of sales show us how many products will be sold in future in money or in some neutral indices. Then these numbers of individual budgets consolidate in one summary budget, result of which will be contain some key economic indices, for example, profit or cash flow. Here is a scheme of enterprise resource planning. Look at it, please. It includes many directions, as we previously stated. Sales, business intelligence, delivery, human resources, accounting, production, and etc. And each direction has their own budget because each direction need a finance to realize their activity, or they put into enterprise some money. So the result of each this point will be some budget. For example, sales unit will have sales budget. Engineering, it's some direct expenses budget. Business intelligence, management expenses budget. And delivery will contained in a business expenses budget. So every direction of enterprises activity as a result has their own budget. And then this budget summarize in a whole budget for enterprises. For example, it may be income and expense budget, which show us a profit of enterprise for future period. Or it may be a cash flow budget, which show us cash in our payment office or in a bank for future period, also months, half year, and etc. It's crucial understanding of allocation of funds activity. We plan key indices, key economic indices of enterprises with help of other indices of units of enterprises. So with this activity we can control some important sphere of enterprises activity and to save payment capacity of enterprises. Based on understanding of allocation of funds, we can say that the budget is a plan which create on a future period in physical or monetary terms according to the enterprise's needs. Most effective enterprises have their own goals. It's necessary for every enterprises have their own goals for future period. This period may be for three types: strategic, tactical, and operational. And allocation of funds system allow to ask on the second important question: how this goal will be achieved. For example, look at this scheme. What size of profit we want to have in the next year? For example, 5,100 rubles. And then we should answer on the same questions as how many products we need to sell for achieving this volume of profit. On this question we can answer due to sales budget. Then when we know how many we want to sell, we should answer on the next question: how many products we should produce for achieving the sales goals. So on the second question we can answer according to a product budget. Product budget will contain the volume of product which we should produce for achieving the first goal. Then we should understand how many sources we need for achieving product goal. There will be some budgets which help us to answer on these questions. For example, salary budget, which will be contain the volume of salary for our employees who will produce our production. Sources budget, it will be contain the type and the volume and the cost of sources and resources which we need for production of our products, and etc. So allocation of fund system allow us to create some strategy how we will achieve our key goal for the future period in 1 year, 2 year, and etc. So the next question, the second question of my lecture, is the objective of allocation of funds activity. Let's look at on this slide. As we previously stated, this activity allows to plan for management their finance, measure profit and expense, and create a strategy of goal achievement. So this planning system also allows to control results of enterprises activity when management correlate what has planned in previous period and what we have done for this period, what was our plan and what we have now. what key indices were achieved and what weren't. It's a base for a managerial solution for future period. Will we increase our goal of profit? Will we decrease it? Or will we stay at the same stage, at the same level? The next objective includes more clear idea of what employers should do. When our employers know exactly how many productions they should produce, or how many productions they should sell, and how much salary they will receive for it, such situation more motivates them for working. It's something is called working on the result. They know exactly what they should do, and it's a key and very important thing in management. Also, during the planning and production processes, it is necessary to communicate different units to each other because they depend on each other working. For example, sales units depends on production units. We can sell only that volume of product production what we can produce and no more. So we can correlate it in time when our production we can sell it in time, how much every day will be product for sales. And so the next aim of allocation of fund system is to create health and equating or effective organizational system of enterprises when other units coordinate, cooperate and communicate to each other, and they are all working for the achieving of the main enterprise's goal. The result of our lecture, we can summarize that allocation of funds system is a planning system of key economic indices of enterprises. This system allows to create an achieving goal strategy, allow also to control important sphere of an enterprise's activity, and allow to save enterprises' payment capacity for a short and for a long period in time. And it's very important for enterprises for its activity. And in the next lecture, we will continue to discuss this question. Thank you for your attention.